Hi, I'm John Arana. This is Karina San Martin.
Hey, everybody.
And we are here at the drop once again, dropping truth
And bringing
life.
That's what we're
And
doing.
we hope that the last episode, man, I'm telling you, that's some good stuff.
Yeah.
It's some really, really good homemade baked bread. It's just really good stuff. We're talking about how the obstacle is the way.
Yeah.
How the obstacle in the way actually becomes the way.
Becomes the way. Yeah.
And all that stuff that we said in the last episode, man, it's just amazing. It's really, really good stuff. And if you didn't hear it,
go listen.
I highly recommend you do, because it's going to change the way you look at your obstacles.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to
get you different results,
100%.
By knowing and learning how to push through them. Yeah.
And I think
totally.
that's the heart of it right there.
Yeah.
Give you different results.
Yeah.
But we were talking about the challenge of controlling our emotions. Because when we hit an obstacle, sometimes, obviously, we all get emotional.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how much.
Yeah.
The intensity of that.
Yeah.
Some people go from 0 to 10.
I know a few people like that. I won't name any names, but I know a few.
But so it's important to learn how to manage your emotions.
Yes.
You're not going to cause them to disappear.
Yeah, of course
But
not.
you're going to be able to manage them. And I think somebody said, would you have a great empire? Rule over yourself. If you're going to have a great empire, then the first thing you got to learn is to rule over yourself.
Oh my gosh. I think
manage your emotions.
I think being a parent is like the biggest school of hard knocks for learning how to control your emotions, because it becomes like I've learned as I'm growing into motherhood and stuff, and our kids are getting older and changing. I've learned that being a good parent is more about regulating my own emotions than regulating my children's emotions. Like it goes together, obviously, but it's like if I get emotional and I react emotionally to my kid, then not only am I teaching them that pattern, but I'm most likely making the interaction worse. Instead of pausing and saying, okay, am I angry? Am I frustrated? Am I disappointed? What am I?
Okay.
And then how do I need to react to my child in the right way, not out of anger, not out of frustration? What's the goal here? Is the goal to teach them? Is the goal to discipline? Is the goal to communicate that they hurt my feelings?
Exactly.
What is the goal? And make sure I do it well and effectively and calmly, and not just an outburst because I'm not governing my emotions. And so for me, I'm learning how to do this a little bit better, controlling your emotions. And
well, I'll tell you what, there's nothing like being a parent to cause you to grow.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember you girls used to say to me, like, if you wanted the keys of the car or something, you would say, Dad, I'm ready.
I'm so ready, Dad.
I'm ready,
Dad. Get up to speed.
And I would say, yeah, but I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. Oh my gosh, I totally get it.
Not only the child has to be ready, but the parent has to be ready as well.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into it.
And I think,
sure.
I've been around this mountain a lot, but one of the key issues of controlling your emotions is managing your thought life.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there is no other way. There is no other way of managing your emotions unless you manage your thought life first.
That's so good.
So good. I remember a long time ago when Sheila, your older sister, was growing up and was giving us a hard time. She had a little fire in her, and she would talk back to me, and I would tell her, don't talk back to me, I'm your dad, and this and that. I grew up in a home where you never talk back to your parents.
Right.
And we were taught that.
Yeah.
You don't talk back to us. We're the parent.
Right.
So anyhow, I kind of carry that into my parenting.
Which, I mean, there's truth to that.
To some extent.
Yeah.
To some extent.
There has to be.
But it's not 100% rule.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You should give your children an opportunity to interact.
Exactly.
So,
right.
Which I didn't do that much, but I did a little bit towards the end.
Hey, we're all doing our best,
okay,
you know?
Okay, but anyhow, so, let me know if I need to pay for therapy.
No, I'm doing okay. I'm
you doing okay?
Still trying to figure out how I feel sometimes, but I'm doing okay. Sometimes I'm like, how do I feel? I need the little hospital chart. Am I happy? Am I sad?
Yeah.
Am I angry?
Which face am I going to select today?
Oh my God! No, it's so true. Your thought life and the way you think.
Oh man, it's everything.
Like even just the other day, Leo was getting really upset about something, and he's one of the ones that goes from 0 to like 1,000, like this.
He's got part of that
and
Italian blood.
He's full Italian. We're trying to help him with that because he is very emotional.
His grandma.
He's very emotional, and so I don't even remember what exactly it was, but it was something he wanted to do. And I wasn't letting him do it, because I can't remember.
Sure.
And I was like, you can't do that. Oh, it was like it was a certain snack he wanted.
But he didn't realize that you were the obstacle.
I was his obstacle.
But you were actually the way.
I was the way. And so he was getting like really kind of rude with his words with me. He was getting real like, no, you never this and you never that and this. And he was getting super worked up. And I heard his emotions like just
escalate.
And then I told him, hey, you cannot talk to me like that.
You need to chill, buddy.
And you need to calm down.
Yes.
And then I got down on his level and I was like, look, this is not because mommy doesn't love you, because I know that's it's a big part of his thing. Yeah. It's not because I don't love you. And he was getting all worked up because in his mind,
he
was like, she's not giving me what I want. She's not loving me.
Yeah.
And you have to correct the incorrect thought pattern.
Sure. Yeah.
And as soon as I brought him back to earth and I was like, dude, you can't have this snack because we don't have it. Like, it's not in the house, and I'm not going to go buy it just in this moment, and so getting his thoughts in line.
Yeah.
I could see his emotions change.
There you go.
And he was like, okay, Mom,
Yeah.
I get it,
Yeah.
and that's what we need to do to ourselves sometimes. Hold up, let's pause for a minute. Let me get my mindset back to reality.
Yeah.
And then your emotions, once you click with that, your emotions line up with.
They begin to line up.
Oh, this is really what is going on.
And I think that that's what happened to me, with Sheila. I kept thinking she's being disrespectful.
Right.
Talking back to me,
Yeah.
because the way I grew up. And so, man, we were having it out.
Yeah.
It was just not, it was the battle of the wills.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember seeing things being like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so.
And thinking, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that.
So, long story short, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to a counselor and talk to a counselor. So I went to a counselor, talked to a counselor, and the counselor said, oh, man, you need to reframe this in the way you're perceiving it. He said, your daughter is not really being disrespectful. It may come across that way, but you have to realize that she's at an age where she's realizing, I have my own thoughts.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait a minute, I just had a thought on my own.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with you, Dad.
Yeah, I actually have likes and dislikes of my own.
Yeah.
I don't have to adopt yours,
right. And that's a big transition.
And so he was telling me she's just trying to be her own person.
Right. Yeah.
And grow up.
Yeah.
And she's trying to let you know, hey, I have my own thoughts.
Yeah. Right.
I have my own ideas.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's where I was really blowing it.
Yeah.
Because what I was really saying is, I'm not interested in your ideas. You know, I'm not interested in what you have to
Just
say.
adopt mine
Just
so
do what
we
I tell
can
you.
move on
Basically,
here.
yeah. Which
Right.
is the old school
Right.
authoritarian parenting.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
which is
Well, it's what you knew.
that's how I grew up.
Right, it's what
know.
you knew. Yeah.
So when he
So the obstacle became the
way. Exactly. So I went back and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so he said, when this ever happens again, automatically you tell yourself, she wants me to value her thoughts.
That's so
She
good.
wants me to value her opinion.
That's good.
Whoa. So that changed everything.
Right. The mindset, the perception.
Because now this obstacle
thought
now
life for it.
became the open door for
That's
me
cool.
to do something new.
That's so good.
And
what a
that,
good example.
That began
Yeah.
to change our relationship.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And thank God through her, then you guys got it a little easier. You know,
Yes.
that's why she gets double of the inheritance.
Oh, she deserves it.
But
so
but you know, if we could just steady our emotions,
Yeah.
because 9 times out of 10 we get in trouble because we emotionally respond.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
and instead
Right.
of controlling ourselves, that's why I tell people you have to be your best therapist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have
No,
to talk
it's
to
true.
yourself, and you have to talk yourself down, and you have to, you know, you have to exercise authority over yourself.
Right.
That's why,
Yeah.
you know, when you're dealing with these obstacles,
Yeah.
you have to realize, hey, the greatest challenge that I have is not that obstacle; it's me.
Yeah, right. Something that I've definitely learned to do, and as I get older, it gets a little easier. But when I can feel myself like my emotions
Getting
being
worked up.
stirred, you know, and not in a good way, I
I've seen
pause.
that.
Yes, you've seen it many times. I pause and I ask myself, why am I feeling this?
Yeah.
Why am I feeling this?
Yeah, sure.
You know, because I'm feeling
Good
it for a
question.
reason.
Good
Even
question.
if the reason is totally bizarre, I'm feeling it for a reason. Why am I feeling this? Because for me, when I can get down to the why, it helps me identify how I got to that emotion.
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
always attached to
Absolutely.
a
Your
thought. It's always
thought
attached to thoughts, you know. But
Correct.
I that helps me level when I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling myself getting a little out of control emotionally. Why
Yeah.
am I feeling this? Oh, I'm
good.
feeling this because blank, blank, blank. Or I'm
That's good.
feeling this because
Yeah.
I was expecting this,
Right.
and then this happened.
Exactly.
I'm feeling this because that person rubbed me wrong and hurt my
Yeah.
feelings.
Sure.
Did they do it on purpose? No,
Yeah.
they didn't. You know,
Yeah.
or I'm, you know, so I think that's a good little thing to try to ground yourself when your emotions are going
Absolutely.
a little strong.
Yeah, I mean it's the right thing. It's what actually works.
Yeah.
To tell yourself and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way?
Right, right.
And I would also ask another question. I would ask, what am I thinking?
Yeah,
What am I thinking?
Right.
Because some people have a hard time connecting with their emotions. But they'll connect with their thoughts.
yeah, sure.
And some
That's
people
good.
is the
That's
other way
really good.
around.
Yeah,
They have a hard time connecting with their thoughts, but they
Yeah.
are automatically connected with their emotions.
yeah, that's good.
But these two things are a mirror of the other,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, that's
and
so
so if you don't know what you're thinking about, brother, the way you're feeling should be telling you something.
Yes.
You know,
no,
if I'm
totally.
angry,
Yeah.
okay, why am I angry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and you work it backwards.
Yeah.
But-
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But basically, we defeat these negative emotions, you know, by taking control over our thought life, reviewing our thought life,
Yeah.
you know, kind of discerning it, what's going on,
That's
what am I
good.
thinking? Because oftentimes we just repeat patterns.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
patterns that have been established.
Right.
And it could be that my last girlfriend, betrayed me, and now I'm married, and now I'm thinking, boy, I see some signs. I'm really upset now. Is this going to happen to me again?
Yeah.
These patterns that we have,
Yeah.
in terms of how we think about certain things.
Oh no, that's so true.
You got to change that.
Yeah.
I like what he says. He says, tell yourself,
Yeah.
I'm not going to die from this.
Yeah, I saw that.
I like this. Keep telling yourself, I'm not going to die from this. Come on, man.
God.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, and there's like this little joke that sometimes people say to each other, and it depends on the relationship you have, but like they'll tell you something and you'll just be like, okay, but did you die?
Right.
But did you die? And it's like, okay, you didn't die. Like, let's move on. Like, you're fine. You survived. Let's move on. You didn't die from it, And I think that when you can stop in a situation and you can evaluate your thoughts and evaluate your emotions, it's almost like that's what helps point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
To then
Absolutely.
face that obstacle, to tackle that obstacle. But if you try to attack this obstacle and your thoughts and emotions are all over the place, then like the way of getting through is going to be really difficult, I think, but it helps bring clarity. It's super important when you can ground your emotions and process in a healthy way, what's connected to your thoughts there.
Yeah, and I think the bottom line, maybe to really simplify it, the way you think affects the way you feel. Mm-hmm. And the way you feel is a reflection of the way you're thinking.
Right. And then I think the way you feel affects how you act.
Totally.
Your action.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's boom, boom.
Let's say this, because I think it needs to be said. Christians are always trying to focus on changing their behavior. Have you become a Christian? Oh, you can't smoke.
Be
you
good.
Can't drink. You
do
can't
good
do
things.
this. You can't do that.
Right.
So it just seems like the whole system is obsessed with changing behavior. Okay. Nothing wrong with that, 100%. We all need to improve, and we all need to, get rid of bad habits. But this is not how human beings change. Human beings don't change just because they have a need. The way to change is by changing the way you think about a particular thing.
That's good, yeah.
Because the way you think about something affects how you feel.
Yeah.
And the way you feel affects how you react.
Yep.
And how you act. And the way you act determines your result.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, okay, man, you want to quit smoking? All right. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. But you're not going to quit smoking by throwing away the cigarettes.
Yeah.
You're going to quit smoking by beginning to develop strong beliefs of how damaging this cigarette is to you. So you got to change your association.
Yeah.
You got to say, this is pleasure, but really this pleasure is going to turn into my pain.
Yeah, right.
And the pain of cancer and the pain of lungs and
blah,
blah, blah.
Yeah.
So you have to reframe how you perceive that cigarette.
Yeah.
And if you do it, if you reframe it, you're going to stop smoking.
Yeah.
That'll be an outflow.
That's so good. That's so good. And I think it is important for us to be intentional with our thoughts, and especially when we see, like when we encounter something that might bring attention to us, like whether it's through our emotions or through an obstacle, like, okay, I might not be thinking about this the right way. And then identify that, but then it's important, like you said, to change it.
Yeah, right.
Give yourself something else, a different way of thinking about it. And sometimes that's easy to do, and sometimes it's really hard to do.
No, it's not always easy.
Yeah, you have.
No.
But you have to do it.
You have to do it
if you want a different result. If you want to be able to overcome an obstacle and do whatever you need to do, to make it happen, because it's up to you.
Yeah, and that's why the Bible says, tear down vain imagination.
Yeah.
That's why it says, take captive every thought. That rises up itself against what you know that God says.
That's so
I like what Marcus Aurelius said. He says, does what happened keep you from acting with justice, generosity, self-control, sanity, prudence, honesty, humility, straightforwardness. If the answer is no, then just get back to work.
Get back to work. I like that. That's so good.
Just get back to work, man. It's not gonna kill you.
Yeah. It's not gonna kill you.
I'm not gonna die from this.
And sometimes it's just as simple as telling yourself, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
And and what's so interesting to me is that our mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality.
That's right. That's
and
true.
so if you literally are imagining yourself doing it, your mind is saying, I'm doing it. I can do this.
Exactly
but
right.
if your mind is constantly saying, I can't do it, I don't have what it takes, there's no way I'm going to be able, this is it, it's over. Your mind is literally lining up your whole body to saying, that's right, we can't do it, it's over, this is it, this is the end of the line for us with this thing, whatever.
What really is crazy, that really freaks me out, is that neurologists did this research, and they identify that the cells in your body begin to move when you begin to tell yourself something. So if you tell yourself,
so good.
oh, I'm just so sick, I'm just feeling sick, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm coming down with something.
Yeah.
The cells in your body begin to communicate to each other. This is not fiction. This is real.
Right.
Your cells begin to communicate, and your cells begin to say, hey guys, we got to get sick, because she says she's sick.
Yeah.
So we have to respond to what she believes.
Yeah.
And they have proven by certain monitoring system that they monitor the current of the body and the brain and blah blah blah. But if you keep telling yourself, oh no, I can't do that. Oh no, I can't do that. All your cells in your body begin to say, okay guys, we're not going to do it.
We can't
do that. Because he says we can.
Yeah, no, it's very,
so
very
it's interesting.
Real. Yeah.
So let's close with this. This guy said, perceiving eyes is weak, but an observing eye is strong. So it's all about perception. Because perception is often reality. To our brain, like you were saying. Your brain doesn't know the difference.
Right.
So whatever you perceive is what's real to you.
Is what's real to you.
And that's how we get through the obstacles. You have to reframe what you perceive. And that's what the Bible says. It's been saying it for 2,000 years. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
That's right. So, got a lot of practice this week.
You got the power to get through.
Yes, you do. And do it, practice it, be intentional with your thoughts. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your week.
And we'll see you next at The Drop.